Hello, everyone, and welcome. In this video, I will be talking about behavioristic theories of learning and their various principles. Let us first try to understand brief introduction of behaviorism. Behaviorism is a psychological theory of learning that focuses on observable behaviors and the environmental factors that influence them. It emerged as a dominant school of thought in the early 20th century, led by prominent figures like Ivan Pavlov, John B. Watson, and B.F. Skinner. Behavioristic theories of learning are based on the premise that behavior is learned through interactions with the environment, and these theories emphasize the role of external stimuli and reinforcement in shaping behavior. Let's explore these theories further with examples. 1. Classical conditioning. In classical conditioning, a neutral stimulus is paired with a stimulus that naturally elicits a response. Over time, the neutral stimulus comes to evoke the same response. Example: Pavlov's dog's unconditioned stimulus, UCS food unconditioned response, UCR salivation, naturally occurring response to food. Conditioned stimulus, CA's bell, neutral stimulus initially, conditioned response, CR salivation in response to the bell after repeated pairings with food. Real-world application. Consider a person who starts associating the sound of a whistle with the arrival of a friend. Eventually, the person may experience a positive emotional response, similar to salivation in Pavlov's dogs, when hearing the whistle, even if the friend is not immediately present. 2. Operant conditioning. Operant conditioning involves the modification of behavior through consequences, reinforcement, or punishment that follow a behavior. Example: Skinner's box operant behavior, a rat pressing a lever reinforcement, providing a food pellet when the lever is pressed. Result: the rat is more likely to press the lever in the future to receive more food. Real-world application. In a classroom, a teacher might reinforce students with praise, positive reinforcement, when they participate actively in class discussions, increasing the likelihood that students will continue to engage in class discussions. 3. Law of effect. Thorndike's law of effect states that behaviors followed by positive consequences are strengthened, while behaviors followed by negative consequences are weakened. Example: puzzle box situation. A cat in a puzzle box needs to figure out how to escape to get food outside. Positive consequence: the cat escaping and getting the food. Result: the cat is more likely to repeat the behavior of escaping when placed in the puzzle box. Real-world application. Consider an employee who receives positive feedback, positive consequence, for completing a project ahead of schedule. The likelihood of that employee completing future projects promptly is increased. 4. Stimulus-response associations. Theory overview. Learning involves the formation of associations between stimuli and responses. Example: teaching a dog trick stimulus, verbal command. Example: sit. Response: dog sitting association. The dog learns to associate the verbal command with the action of sitting through repetition and reinforcement. Real-world application. A child learning to tie shoelaces forms associations between specific movements, stimuli, and the resulting tied shoelace response. Let's delve into the principles of behavioristic theories of learning in more detail, along with examples illustrating each principle. Classical conditioning. Learning occurs through the association of stimuli and responses. Example: Pavlov's dog's explanation. The sound of a bell, conditioned stimulus, CAS, becomes associated with the presentation of food. Unconditioned stimulus, UCS, leading to the dog salivating. Conditioned response, CR, even in the absence of food. 2. Operant conditioning. Behavior is influenced by its consequences, either reinforcement or punishment. Example: Skinner's box explanation. A rat pressing a lever, operant behavior, receives a food pellet, positive reinforcement, increasing the likelihood of the rat pressing the lever in the future. 3. Law of effect. Thorndike behaviors followed by positive consequences are strengthened, while behaviors followed by negative consequences are weakened. Example, puzzle box explanation. A cat learns to escape a puzzle box. Behavior, to access food. Positive consequence, strengthening the behavior of escaping in similar situations. 4. Stimulus-response associations. Learning involves forming connections between environmental stimuli and behavioral responses. Example, teaching a dog tricks explanation. A dog associates a specific command, stimulus, with a corresponding action, response, through repeated practice and reinforcement. 5. Generalization and discrimination. Generalization involves responding similarly to similar stimuli, while discrimination involves responding selectively. Example, Pavlov's dogs, generalization, explanation. If a dog salivates to a bell, it may also salivate to a similar sounding tone. Example, discriminating tones explanation. A dog learns to respond to a specific pitch of a whistle, discrimination, but not to other pitches. 6. Extinction. Behavior weakens when previously reinforced behavior is no longer followed by reinforcement. Example, child's tantrum explanation. If a child's tantrum behavior is no longer reinforced with attention, the tantrum behavior may decrease over time. 7. Behavior modification. Applying behaviorist principles to modify and control behavior. Example, classroom behavior explanation. A teacher uses positive reinforcement, praise or rewards, to encourage students to complete assignments promptly, shaping their behavior. 8. Cognitive behavioral perspective. Integrating cognitive processes into behaviorist theories. Example, fear of public speaking explanation. A person's fear of public speaking may involve cognitive processes such as negative thoughts and perceptions. Cognitive behavioral therapy addresses both the cognitive and behavioral aspects to alleviate the fear. These principles collectively provide a framework for understanding how individuals learn and how their behaviors are shaped through environmental stimuli, reinforcement, and punishment. While behavioristic theories have been influential, it's essential to recognize that they don't capture the full complexity of human learning and behavior, prompting the development of other psychological theories. Thank you, everyone. If you're passionate about education and teacher training, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel Education and Teacher Education at Shokeen Bilal.